So I think it was our hustle and our grind that Prince noticed and saw. It didn't happen when we thought it was going to happen. We just knew we was going on tour for Purple Rain.
Right.
Um, and I remember during the premiere, he kind of pulled us aside, and I think he was just giving us a heads up that all the dance routines that we did were cut down to that snippet, that point 0.5 seconds of work you saw us do in Purple
On the
Rain.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
on the movie
right.
itself, right? We weren't quite prepared for that. He was giving us a heads up, but we weren't prepared for what we saw. And but again, it was our first break. It was our and like I said, I think he just appreciated our grind and our hustle and our, he knew we wanted it, and it just
Mm.
wasn't our time at that particular time.
But he kept you guys on ice, gave you hope, and then there was disappointment and everything. All
Right.
through preparation. What was the tour? Was it Sign of the Times, or was it the tour that you guys were so pissed you guys went to the bar and had a few extras?
Yeah, you've heard this one before. Yeah,
Yeah, Damon mentioned it. Yeah.
absolutely. Oh yeah, yeah. We I think, was the Sign of the Times. No, no, no. It was it Love?
Love
Was it
Sexy?
Love Sexy? I think it was Love Sexy.
Okay.
Anyway, we were going out. We were out at Paisley almost every day, just again grinding. Hopefully, and then we come up and do dance routines with Sheila and Kat and everybody, and we just knew we were going to get that opportunity. Again, everything happens for a reason, right? I look back in hindsight, of course, now, and I realize that if we'd have been given that opportunity during Purple Rain
Hmm.
or subsequent tours after that, would I have been in a position to uh, write lyrics? Right? Would I have been in a position to play guitar at that particular point? Right? I mean, he had everything lined up. I'd have just probably just been a dancer,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And then toured, and that would have been it. So everything happens in his time and in his reason. And Prince he was a loyalist, man. You know, if you gave him your time and you proved yourself, he kept you around. And what we didn't know, that internally they were going through changes with the time disbanding, right? Jerome coming in with
Right.
the family, and he was just trying to find, I think, pieces and places to put people who have been there, right? So again, it just wasn't our time. But yeah, we were salty, man. We went to it was an old restaurant downtown Minneapolis in the city center called Nankin's, and they had this drink called the Wanderer's Punch. It's this huge, massive drink, but it had like 7 different rums and punch in it, so you really didn't know you were getting lit, but you got about halfway through it and you're like, whoa, man, this is it. Well, we drank 2 of those, and we were toe up from the flow up. Let me tell you.
They had those out there. I don't drink anymore, but it was Long Island iced teas, kind of something like
Long
that.
Island
They
said,
took all
yeah.
the
So this
bottles and
is,
just went like that.
yep. So this was Long Island's on steroids, man.
Oh, okay. Did Prince
It was
come in
next
that night?
level.
Was he there that night? Did he walk in the bar?
No,
Oh,
no,
okay,
no. It
good
was
thing.
just us. We realized that they were heading out. We had started getting just some little birdies was like, man, you guys are gonna go. You guys are gonna go. I think it's gonna happen. And it didn't happen. We found out they were heading out, and it was just like it wasn't time yet. And so that's when we just kind of went and tied one on. It's just like we've been paying dues for like 5, 6 years, man. We started what 84,
Mhm.
and so it wasn't until what 89 when we really got our opportunity to join the band and
Yeah.
going on the Nude Tour. So
Well, the origin of the Game Boys. What was
mhm,
the name for that?
Prince.
Okay. Oh,
Our
Prince
name
made it.
was our name was Split Level. That
Okay.
was the name of our dance group.
Mhm.
And Prince didn't like it. He thought it sounded like an architecture firm or something like that. It was something odd because I remember when we saw it printed for the first time, we came to him and was like, our name is not, we're not the Game Boys. We're Split Level. And but again, he said it. It was printed. It was done. It was a wrap. There was nothing we
Yeah.
could do to change that. So, and we're like, well, Game Boys. That just sounds like the handheld video game by Nintendo. So, what are you, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, yeah. I was going through some of the history of the gigs, like through on Prince Vault, and because of the shows that I went to and the shows that you played, and I was looking at some of behind the scenes shows that were canceled and rescheduled. I had one when I went. It was after you guys had long left, but there was a lot of stuff that the fans never knew. If this information is correct, that
Mhm.
shows were always changed at the spur of the moment, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why our sound checks lasted 3 hours plus.
Hmm.
Um, is that there were different arrangements. You know, you realize here in the states and abroad, um, the hardcore fans. I mean, they're at every single show,
Mm.
right? They
Yeah.
they they pool their money, they save up their money. I remember how blown away I was on our first tour on the Nude Tour, and we were in Amsterdam or in the Netherlands, and we pulled up to the venue before sound check, and just I mean there's tents and sleeping bags and people lined up for miles just sleeping outside because once they open the doors, it's first come first serve in there. There's no seating arrangements. It's stadium shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
So people are just breaking their necks, man, running into the stadium. I have some video footage on a VHS. Had a big
Hmm.
VHS. You remember the VHS
Yeah. Yeah.
camcorders?
Yeah.
And I remember right before the gates were about to open, one of the crew came up and said, "Tony, you guys might want to stand behind the curtain. You might want to film this." And we came up. They said they're about to open the doors, and I went up and stood behind the curtain and just kind of poked the camera out. And them gates open, man. Just the look of, I don't want to say it was panic,
Uh huh.
but they were, I mean, these people were running in just trying to get that front row. You know what I
Wow.
mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you got guys dragging their girlfriends, man, and the girls are just, they realize they're about to fall and they just dive, tuck and roll and don't miss a beat and get back up and keep running, man. I was like, man, this is bizarre. This is absolutely crazy. Um, so, being able to experience that and, 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 and also being able to, we were new, we were the dancers, and, Diamonds and Pearls hadn't hit yet. So we would just walk out to the crowd in the stadium and just walk around and hear people discuss how excited they were to see the show and how many shows they've been to and how much a big fan, and then they'd look around and see us but not quite know who we were yet.
Hmm.
When we came back through with Diamonds and Pearls, and they would have their tour books, and we'd sneak up behind people and go like, who's that big head fool right there? And they turn around and look and go, oh my god, oh my god.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so
The
we love that
anonymity
part
was
of it.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and that was okay. I mean, again,
Yeah.
Prince was unattainable and untouchable for them,
Right.
right? But we were, so we wanted to make sure that we were able to provide that connection somehow, and just being able to go out and say what's up to people.
Yeah. Interesting. You talk about that first show. You wasn't there torrential rain, and did you fall off the stage that
Um,
show
that
almost?
wasn't, no, Damon slipped coming down the
Okay.
ramp, and
Okay.
that was in France. I fell off the stage. I think we were in Germany, and we were flip flopping stages in this particular venue. um, the wings that went out toward the sides of the stage where you see Prince run up on and hype the crowd on both sides. Well, facing stage left, they had to cut a portion of the wing off, so it didn't go out as far as I thought it went, and they didn't put the glow tape up there, so I couldn't see where it ended.
Oh,
So
okay.
every night I go out to this part on cue, and I do my thing from that area. Well, not thinking. Didn't see any glow tape down. I walked out there and stepped off that stage, and you can imagine if you're stepping. It's not like I didn't trip off of a curb. I
Mm.
fell off of a 10-foot high stadium, a stage, and fell all the way down. All you could hear was a little bit, but I didn't miss a beat. I
Yeah.
didn't miss a beat. Matter of fact, Prince called us all, the whole band into his room to watch the show, and he said, "Let me tell you something right here." And I just came out from behind the speakers, and I just rocked in the
Right.
crowd, and just giving people. He said, "Man, that's it, money." So I got a little bump. So that's Funk Night right there.
Yeah. You guys had that? Was it every night? Like a little bonus, or?
Not not every night, but a lot of times we would have a funk night. So the competition was on. We were all competitors. We were like, man, we the
Yeah.
funkiest, or no, Prince, is Prince going to be the funkiest, which he always was.